Are we live yet?
No one's in yet. So
All right, all right, all right.
one person's in. It's probably John.
Who's in? John's in?
Probably.
John's in.
There we go. People filing in.
They're filing in. Shannon was supposed to come up here, but she said nope. Nope, not yet. Nope. That's why she moved out of here, so she wouldn't have to be called upon. All right. People are coming in, and we're starting to do that. Unfortunately, it's a little too warm up here in Millerton, New York. We're in the 50s, so a lot of the snow has been melting. As a skier, that's a problem for me, but hopefully some more cold weather will be ahead of us. Not next week, though. John, any things we should discuss?
Lots of stuff to discuss.
All right. We'll discuss them at the right time. Not before. Hyro, what are you tasting over there?
Island Dreams.
Island Dreams.
Island Dreams.
What's in Island Dreams? Hyro's one of our blenders. So Hyro, what is in Island Dreams?
Island Dreams.
Green tea?
It's a green tea, China mancha.
Bancha, okay.
And a little blue corn flour.
What kind of flour?
Corn flour.
Blue corn flowers, yep. And what's the flavor?
Coconut, rum, and
Coconut, rum flavor. Rum and pineapple. So it's like a mojito a little bit.
And Hawaiian drink.
Oh, okay. How long do you brew that for?
A mojito, Mike?
No, how long does he brew the Island Dreams? So 3 minutes
Yeah,
at
pina colada, not a
175, huh?
mojito.
Okay, for green tea. That's a good idea. Thank you. Mike Harney, and today is the 17th of February, and we welcome you all here. If our friend Nina is here, we of course wish her happy birthday. She's always hardworking. She does the honey sticks that we put in our little samplers. So I don't know actually her age, but I believe she's older than me, since her daughter is the same age as me. So I'm going to pour myself a little bit of a Darjeeling that just came in. Whew. How's the Island Dreams taste, Vita?
Too strong.
Too strong. Uh-oh. We don't want it to be too strong. Today we were going to talk about some Darjeelings that just came in New Assam. And then we also had some of our hemp moringa here, which is we put that on the table. You know, we're just renewing our licenses for growing of hemp. And New York State is adding other possibilities, but it hasn't been signed by the governor. So there are other possibilities ahead of us. So we'll taste this in honor of us doing the hemp growing renewal. Now, by the way, it was a little complicated. We have to now, it's because of the U.S. Department of Agriculture is sort of overseeing it. We had to have our fingerprints, John, my fingerprints.
Nope.
Nope.
Not doing
You're not going to do my fingerprints?
Someone stole them.
Someone will steal them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the government couldn't read them. We went to the local police officer, and he is a little rusty with his fingerprinting skills. So I had to go down to Newburgh and New York, about an hour away, to the post office to get, and they came back and said that I should turn myself in. So I'm just trying to find the local police station. Oh, yes, thank you, miss. What's your name?
My name is Elvira.
Oh, Elvira.
Elvira.
Okay. Whoa! I didn't realize I had that effect on you. All right. Okay. Yeah, we're doing the hemp. We're getting some more purple emperor and painted lady are the types that we like to grow, and we have to order them up, and then they start growing them. We'll put them in the ground somewhere around Memorial Day. So today we're going to taste the tea, these two Darjeelings, and then the hemp moringa, and then we've got the New Assam that just came in, which we're running down to get that. And then I am giving away 3 copies. Sometimes I'm a little more mellow, but this time it's going to be a hard 3. So Michael at harneyteas.com. And that was a book that I helped write back in 2010, I guess. So it's been out 12 years. And it's a lovely
It's still
book.
in print, Michael.
Well, if I pay to have it printed, it is still in print. That's true. We have still 2 pallets worth of it, so I won't have to ask my friend at Penguin Press. I thought that last time was going to last me for a couple of years, but with COVID, I guess people like to read, so I'm not one to complain. Well, we have, of course, you have questions. You're going to have Alex, my son, or John, who's not my son, but had his birthday. When was your birthday, John?
Sunday.
Sunday. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have 2 different ones here. We have the Siak, and we have also the Pubong. And both of these are from the Myrick Valley, rather than the Keurig Valley. And the Myrick Valley is, I think you've been up there, Alex, haven't you?
I have indeed.
And that's Okaiti is up there, and
Selambong.
Sungma, Siak, Pubong. Pubong is at the very end of it. It's a very beautiful, beautiful ride up. You go up a steep paved road, thank God, and you've got pine trees, and you go through in and out of the pine trees, and you come up to the little place where you go to Okaiti, and then you go down and up. Next thing you know, you're at Siak.
It's also important to mention that the Myrick Valley is right next to the border with Nepal.
Oh, that's a true statement.
And Myrick is known for its flowers.
Myrick is known for its flowers.
This is the city, yeah. Town, I guess
The
you would
city?
call it.
I don't think we want to call it a city.
Well,
It's
compared to Millerton?
yeah, maybe it's bigger than Millerton. No, it's smaller size-wise, but there's a lot of people there. Can you throw up the picture of the snow? I put that on Slack, Alex.
Funny that you mentioned that because
Okay.
Brenda just commented.
So it generally doesn't have white, but we did get a friend of ours sent us a picture of the snow. It's on general, Alex. So Darjeeling is not growing any tea right now because you'll see why in just a second. There, is it live? No. Almost. Here it comes. Here it comes. All right, we're going to make sure it works, John.
Got it.
1, 2. I'm not worrying about it. Okay. He's getting it working. I'm not worried. So it's not growing there now, but it will in a little bit. It starts to warm up, and then all the energy that the plant stored in the roots starts to come up and start to make the leaves work again, just like here in a couple of months. Do we have it? There's a picture of of Darjeeling in snow. I thought it looked better in black and white, Alex. I don't know. Hopefully you do too. They had color pictures, but I thought this. Oh, that is a color picture?
It is a color picture.
Oh, that
it's
is a
very
color.
small with black on the either side.
All right, all right. So yeah, so in a little while they'll start to do the first flush. So that's when it comes right up, a little bit like the maple sap that we love around here in New England, that comes up and we make the maple syrup out of.
So I guess the question on that snow, Mike, is will it affect the growing season? And what do you guess will be available to buy this year?
Okay. Well, it generally doesn't snow there, but it probably has already melted because it's not like here where snow lasts. And in fact, snow didn't last here. It's, although up fairly high, it's still a tropical area. You might call it subtropical, but it's definitely warmer than here. It's just the altitude that makes it work that way. So the tea plants should not have dramatic effect. There might be a little frost a little bit on the outer edge of them where there's some damage. But as I mentioned, the new season starts and the energy that's down below will push up new leaves. So what the more important thing is that they get some water fairly soon so that they can have a very good first flush. The first flush that we like to have is generally the it's got a greenish style to it, and so it's it's withered for a long time. It's left on these racks with the hot air blowing up, so it has a chemical change, and it also loses a lot of moisture. It loses so much moisture that some of those leaves can't oxidize to black, so they stay green. And I don't believe we have any of that in the second flush teas here. No.
So you're saying the tea leaves, so the tea plant should be fine from this snow, but if it snowed later on, say, it could damage this year's crops.
Well, if they have a frost later on, it would cause a problem.
Okay.
But that's extremely rare. I mean, this is very rare that it had a snowstorm there in Darjeeling. Obviously, if you go up in the Catachunga and places like that, there's going to be permanent snow, glaciers as they call it. But that's quite a bit higher than that. So this is two good second flush teas. Now, second flush is later in the season. We did have a problem. Actually, India had a big COVID outbreak, so everything was delayed. And then there's a lot of supply chain problems. So we have gotten in. Are you doing that, Assam? Oh, okay, got it. So everything's a little delayed, or a lot delayed. So we have in one of our Assams, which I wanted to go over, and that's isn't that Halmari? Holy Mari. Holy Mari. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tomorrow we have to pay attention. Oh, there's Monica. Good morning, Monica.
Afternoon, Mike. Afternoon.
I only say good morning to Monica.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the first flush Darjeeling season. We do have the second flushes, so these are very nice. They both of them are said to be organic, but we don't run them through the organic certification process, so we don't sell them as organic. And we thought that the Siak has more of the muscatel flavor than the Pubong. Pubong was a bit more, for me, reminded me of sort of the old school Darjeeling, which the Brits like to add milk and sugar to. And then the Siak has more muscatel, fruit tea flavors. So how does that happen? Well, they let an insect infestation. They let insects bite on the leaves, and that causes a reaction that creates chemicals. The plant tries to get rid of the bugs before it kills the plant. And so this self-defense has a flavor which we love, which we call muscatel. Now, this one here versus the first flush, could you get a first flush Darjeeling just to show the people, please?
I got it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Alex will find it for us. The first flush is withered higher, and it doesn't oxidize as long, so it's much greener. Okay. So just to show that, to make sure we're all on the same page. I'm not sure it'll show that well, John. Bring it over here a little bit. Boom. So it's a greener tea, and so it'd be brisker and lighter. You also brew it for less time. Oh, thank you. So that's the first flush season. This is the first flush, and then this is the second flush, which is oxidized longer and is a mellower tea. This is a brisker tea, the first flush, which is from Ging, G-I-N-G, Ging estate. Alex, we're almost coming up to the time where people want to ask questions. We can answer them.
For sure. Okay, well, we'll start at the top here. First, we're getting some love for the new hemp tin, the new Mind Your Body tins. People are loving that. Ruby just found her copy of the Harney & Sons Guide to Tea, which she had forgotten on her on her bookshelf.
Well, Ruby, I'm glad you found that, and read it again, and I'll quiz you.
Um,
I better put my glasses on so I can look like a librarian.
or a stern teacher, I don't know.
Ruby, read that book.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay, so then the next question, John would like to know, why do you only grow those 3 strains that you mentioned, Painted Lady and whatever?
Well, actually, I just mentioned 2.
Okay, 2. It was just so long ago, I don't remember.
Who asked that question?
Some guy named John.
John Cap?
Maybe.
Well, we have tried other ones. You know, we've done this for this will be our 4th year. So we've done different strains because originally it was with New York State, a research permit. And so we had to try different ones. And so we did try different ones. We find that these 2 do a very good job. They're steady. They can resist, you know, a lot of times if it's wet in the summertime, we get mildew. And they can resist that, powdery mildew. And then they have a good yield. This year we did try some auto flowers. I don't know if you ever heard of that, John, or not. No? I'm looking at you or the flowers? The flowers. Okay. I know. But in any event, the autoflower is a smaller plant. It gets about this tall, and it blooms very early. So then it goes faster, but it doesn't yield as much. So we didn't really like it. Oh, thank you.
It's not a comfortable position to stay in holding that teapot.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And I just need to have the tea leaves, too. Please. Oh, my God. So that answers that question. Hopefully that we find the Painted Lady and the Purple Emperor to be great yielding hemp plants. And that's the ones that we're ordering up, John. No autoflower. And then we had some other possibility of getting some Oregon this and Oregon that. But, you know, we get it from a guy that's just about 5-6 miles from here. And he grows them over there and gives them to us when they're about this tall. So, you know, everything is changing in New York State when they legalized marijuana. Thank you very much. Thanks. So that answers that. Is there another question that someone had?
No, just some really nice compliments. Well, actually, no, there's a question. Here we go.
That Pubong actually is better tasting than I remember, so that's good.
Vicky would like to know when we'll be offering a 20% discount on our loose teas again. Loose leaf teas again.
Hold your breath there. I'm sorry, who was that?
Vicky.
Vicky. But don't hold it too long, but you can hold it for just a little bit.
Yeah, like what?
Soon. Hold your breath.
Nancy she said she never knew about the insects. So cool. Debbie says she loves your presentations, and Ruby said it's a deal.
I guess Ruby can't get the book. Sorry, Ruby, we got your name now.
Yeah.
So that's the story there, and then we just got in another tea which came in. So we have our 2 different Darjeelings, and the other Indian tea we get is what we call a broken, and this is a nice tippy tea, although in the dark here it doesn't look overly tippy. And that's a nice strong one that we have, which is I have to bring some back to the house. I've been drinking, as someone said, I've been drinking Irish breakfast, which I can't discriminate against the Irish. I am Irish, but I like this one because it's got a little bit more tip. So it's a sweeter tea in the morning, nice and strong.
Can you put it on the other side of the Darjeelings? Close to John.
Yeah, John can't do anything. John.
And so those orange flecks are the
Tips. So the idea is that when a tea plant grows, you know, as I said, it comes from the soil and it grows up into little leaves, and then at the end of the little leaf is what they call the bud or the tip, and that's going to be like a pussy willow in the sense it's like a little fuzzy thing at the very end, which is white. You find in white tea often, but in this particular one, the tips it takes a certain tea plant to create the tips. Not every tea from Assam has that tippy nature to it. And oftentimes that makes them sweeter because the tea plant takes care of its baby by giving it extra sugars and extra proteins and a little extra caffeine. So the bud, when it's got bud in it, you're getting the best that the tea plant can offer you. So that is good. So we just got this in.
And what's it called again? Everyone wants to know.
What's it called again? Vita. Can you just check that, Jen? Yeah, we'll put that up on the Facebook because there's a little question. Vita, I thought we were supposed to get we had another one besides the calamari. That was tippier than that, no? No. All right. We have a little bit of a question there in the mark.
But it's called?
Calamari. So it'll be the nice Assam. We haven't gotten in the full leaf, which I like quite a bit. That's still on some boat going somewhere, hopefully over to us. But that's been a problem this year, as I mentioned. So we've got the Darjeelings in late, and we got the Assam in, only one of the Assam. So we order two very nice ones. We also have the golden tip Assam. And the reason this is gold instead of white is that when the plant is oxidized, a little bit of the chlorophyll in the tip, it gets oxidized and changes to that color.
Okay, so Christina Williams would like to know, do you have the hot cinnamon in loose tea?
Halmari, that's what I told you was Halmari. Colmari, I go with Colmari. Halmari, Halmari. And the question that Christina asked was, do we do hot cinnamon in loose?
Yes.
We make, how many pounds of hot cinnamon do we make a day?
We make
Quantos?
a day.
How many times hot cinnamon?
3,200.
2,500 pounds.
3,500 pounds.
3,000?
And we sell 100,000 every 3 months.
So we go through 100,000 pounds every 3 months. So it's a lot. So a lot of that is loose tea, right? John, you can have a picture of the hot cinnamon. Is that what you're doing? No. Okay. Alex, another
yes,
question?
we do that. We do the hot cinnamon, right? Is your answer here, Mike?
Sorry?
We do the hot cinnamon loose. Was the
We
final
do.
answer?
Yes, we do hot cinnamon loose. To answer the question.
All right, cool. So then she has the next question: which tea has the lowest caffeine?
Well, a lot of the teas are approximately the same level of caffeine. You know, you find slight differences in the white tea being the highest, and green tea next. And then what happens is that caffeine is a function is a bug repellent. So just like if you drink too much caffeine, we have the jitters. The bug has that same problem, and so then it jitters away. So as a plant gets older and tougher, it needs less caffeine. So that's why the baby has the most caffeine. But they're all in there, and that you have to drink 3 cups of tea to equal 1 cup of coffee. Which I had a cup of coffee today, I'll be honest. I had stopped at a Colombian restaurant to bring back some desserts for our Elvita and her crew. And so I said, well, we have to try Colombian coffee as long as I'm in a Colombian restaurant.
Was it good?
They made it as a latte, so it was all right.
Let's not forget L-theanine in there.
L-theanine, yep, that too.
So Jamie would like to know, what's your favorite Darjeeling?
Well, this Siak is my favorite right now.
And then let's see.
I like the second flush, and then I do this lovely blend. What's it called? Harsha, isn't that, Bidam?
Harsha.
Yeah, and that's got a special Darjeeling and a special Assam, most times.
And then just quick, we had a question off that last answer about caffeine because I knew someone was going to get caught by this. Mika says, did you say white tea has the highest caffeine?
Did I say that? John, play the tape back.
You did.
All right, I did. Yes, because as I said, and I've done some research, that, and I've seen the numbers, that the most fragile part of the tea plant is the bud. That has all the extra stuff in it that a bug would find desirable, and it's not protected. It doesn't have a thick coat on it, and so that has the highest level of caffeine to try to protect it from the bugs that want to eat it. So yes, that's a true statement.
And then going back up to Fernando's question here.
Fernando?
Fernando has a question for
Oh,
you.
from Uruguay.
Possibly. He does like to watch our show.
That's it. That's it. He just had a shipment delivered to him.
Hi, Mike. The difference between Darjeelings are because the first and second flush, because they are first and second flushed, or is it because of the oxidation? Why can't I talk today?
Well, I mean, first off, there's, I think, approximately 70 Darjeelings. So each one is going to be a little bit different. And in fact, each part of those 70 has a little difference. So if it's on this hill or that hill. So, excuse me, they often sell it as just a little lot for one day for one region. So there's a lot of differences in Darjeeling. So we could have gotten something from, and I think we did, have quite a few Seox that we looked at, and we liked this one the best. Now, the difference between first flush and second flush has become a tradition. So most Darjeelings were dark, and then and the British liked to add milk and sugar to them. So that was that way. Then in the 1960s, jet travel started to become available. And then the father of our dear friend Marcus Wolf came up with the idea that we should celebrate the differences and not cover it over with milk and sugar. So one of the differences was, let's make the first flush a little lighter than the second flush. And that's when we started air freighting those in there. Later on, our Japanese friends looked at it and said, oh, this could be really nice. And so they made the green tea, they made the tea similar to what they drink in Japan, sencha and gyokuro. So they lightened it up even more. So actually, if you look, we were over at a Japanese department store a couple of years ago, and their first flush offerings, there was probably like 20 first flush offerings at that particular place. We only give 2 because there's only so much demand for it. So it's something that you see the Japanese pushed it to become greener and greener. The second flush still stays more oxidized and darker. Now, we don't want to forget the hemp moringa, because otherwise it's got our hemp from our garden, or from our, well, you could call it a garden out there, that we have just out the street. And we have some goji berry, we have some turmeric, and believe it or not, a little bit of moringa too, because it's hemp moringa. And it's a very good seller, it turns out.
1 minute left, Mike.
1 minute left. All right, questions.
Well, Fernando says thank you from Uruguay.
Thank you from Uruguay. You're welcome from Millerton, New York.
And yeah, no, back to the Darjeelings, I really think there's so much nuance in between all the different first flushes. That must be why you saw 20 in a Japanese department
Right,
store.
they are, and some are it depends upon the type of tea plant. So there's 3 basic types of tea plant you find in there. You find the what they call the Chinese, so that's supposedly a more mellow plant that came over a long time ago. Then there's the Assam version, which is very strong and creates a brisk cup of tea, and that's from down in the flats of Assam. And then they have a Cambodian, which is a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then sometimes they mix them all together. So depending upon the predominant type of tea plant, then you get a different style inside that particular place, because they have lots of different ones to choose from.
Okay, lightning round.
Lightning round.
First off, Petrova says you're great.
Well, thank you. Who says Petrova?
Who says Petrova?
Who's Petrova? You mean our employee?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
Our employee, our friend,
Our
Alexandra.
our actor.
And then, real quick, could you relate first and second flushes with something from the wine world?
Um,
And you have to
I
do
don't think it
in
really
10
ties in
seconds.
with the. You might say like a Beaujolais Nouveau would be versus a regular Beaujolais, where they have a different style, very different style from the same place. So if you take that Beaujolais Nouveau, they do that with a carbonic maceration, so it goes really fast into that, and it creates a much fruitier and faster type of wine versus the traditional style of Beaujolais, which is a more mellow. So that you could say is like a Beaujolais Nouveau, and that is a regular Beaujolais from France. Now, I know that one of our competitors calls it Darjeeling Nouveau, so they must think that too.
Cool. Well, that takes us to
What's
the-
left on the lightning?
That's it.
All right, thank you very much. And again, Michael at harneyteas.com. Thank you, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks, not in 2 weeks. Is that correct, Alex?
Yeah.
Maybe in 3 weeks?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll figure that out. We have a little bit of a pause for the cause. Thank you.